Good morning. It's Saturday the 13th of July and here I am at Tetney Lock behind the pub, in the pub car park, in a car that belongs to this lady. And this is Rosemary. Good morning, Rosemary.
Good morning, Jim.
Well, we met in Cleethorpes about an hour ago or something, somewhere around there, where you drove all the way over from Market Wheaton, and you're going to come and join me today on the walk. How are you feeling about that?
Really looking forward to it, Jim.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Been a long time overdue.
Yes. I mean, there's a bit of history with Rosemary and I. We actually met. We were just talking about this a few minutes ago. We actually met on what date was it? Can you remember?
I think it was around about 23rd of April last year.
23rd of April. So I was only then have been like 2 weeks into my walk from Grimsby, and that was somewhere between Hornsey and Bridlington, wasn't it?
Skipsy Sands.
Skipsy Sands, that's right. And you had your little dog with you and everything.
I did.
And what was his name again?
Dewey.
Dewey, that's right. And I've got to say, Rosemary, you've been probably 100% supporter of me ever since, and you comment on everything, and you like everything and all the rest of it, and I'm quite sure you found, there must have been something that made you want to carry on watching, and you've been watching ever since. And I think that's wonderful. And I always used to call you in those early days my number one fan, and I think you still are. You know what I mean? You've probably seen more of me than anybody else, really.
It's probably true.
Yes. And so today we saw this opportunity where you could come over, because just after our meeting, you broke your ankle. Can you tell me about that again?
Well, yes, I just happened to be finishing work one lunchtime and went to close the gate and just fell over, literally just fell over. And to this day, I don't know how I managed to break it so severely. So it's not mended. They didn't pin and plate it. So I just have to be very careful, because if I do break it again, then, it will be pins and plates, unfortunately.
Right.
So the aim is to stay on 2 feet upright.
Yes.
And be careful.
And I mean, you have started. You've been doing some bigger distances recently, haven't you?
Yes, I've been trying to slowly get the mileage up.
Yes.
I mean, I'm out every day with the dog, so
yeah.
I try and average 4 miles a day, and
Right.
then once a week now, I'm trying to do at least one long walk of 10 miles or more.
Yes.
So I think the longest I've managed is about 16 miles as a walk.
Yes.
Plus the dog walking on top. So
Right.
the mileage is going up quite nicely.
But do you still get pain?
I don't get any pain whatsoever, but my ankle does swell up like a balloon if I do any distance. So then I just have to sit
Yes.
with the ankle elevated, and then the following day it's just usually fine.
Well, that's bizarre, isn't it, really?
Very strange, but they did say it would swell up. And,
Yes.
a friend of mine very kindly bought me a little support for it, so I've put it on today. I know we're not doing a great distance, but it will help it and prevent it from swelling.
Yes, that's good. I mean, is it your left leg or your
It's
right?
my right.
You're right.
ankle.
Okay. I know I've had a few problems with my left leg, as you know. The latest one being when the last time I was in Grimsby, when I came up to see Trish, I went to the doctor and he examined me. He gave me a thorough examination, and he said I've got a touch of phlebitis.
All right.
And he gave me some gel, and it was this vein that runs right down the inside of my leg, and it used to really, just inside here, just on this part, running to my groin, to my knee. And I used to put this gel on, and it used to work instantly, and it, because the vein was quite hard, it used to soften it immediately. And since then, I've had absolutely no trouble with it. In fact, I've been walking better over the last sort of month than I have for a long time, where I've been getting 1 or 2 aches and pains. I never ever suffer with anything with my feet, blisters or anything like that. I can keep on walking for miles and miles. I go to bed, I get up in the morning, and I don't feel as if I've done all of these miles. I've got so used to it.
You're very lucky in that respect, because I pushed myself one day to do the whole of Orkham, which is out on the Pickering Road near Whitby. And
Yes,
it's
I know.
a walk I've done before.
Yes.
But you have to go down into the hole or
Yes.
up out of the hole, depending on which way around you go.
Yes.
And having done that walk, I then ended up off my feet for 3 days.
Really?
Because I put my big boots on thinking I would need extra ankle support.
Yeah.
And unfortunately the thick socks rubbed blisters just
Yeah.
underneath my toes.
Yeah.
And it was incredibly painful.
Yeah.
So that's another lesson learned.
Yes.
You know, so I'm just trying to make sure I'm sensible, and I'll stick to flat walks if that's what I have to do for now until I get a bit stronger.
Well, yeah, because I've only worn my boots about 4 times on this whole walk for the very same reason, and they seem to nip on my ankles, and I'm just wearing the same trainers, the same style of trainers that I've got through 4 or 5 pairs of these particular trainers now. And when I'm in Manchester next week, I'm going to go to Decathlon, which is in Stockport, which is round the corner from where my daughter lives, and buy another half dozen pairs because they're absolutely perfect. But to cushion them out even more, I only buy cheap ones, but if you put insoles in, these feel like carpet slippers. They just feel like carpet slippers on any surface.
Yeah.
Whether it's pebbly or bumpy or what have you, it doesn't help you when you're on the pebbly beaches, and as you know, I absolutely hate pebbly beaches and shingly beaches, and but my feet have been great, and my legs, it's been the least of my problems. And I know we just had a big chat, about how is it going kind of thing, but this last couple of weeks have been really hard going for me, and not so much in the walking, but the logistics and arranging all tomorrow, and being in touch with the press and being in touch with cancer research people. It's just brought an awful lot more work, and even though I'm not complaining, I've had an awful lot of new people come on board on Facebook and on YouTube, and keeping up with it all has just become a massive problem as a temporary thing, and once you get behind, you get further and further behind. But hopefully this weekend, the break that I've just had 2 or 3 good days rest. And I'm looking forward to all the family and all these people tomorrow. It'll be lovely, but it's kind of put a tension in me, hoping that it all goes well. I think my expectations might be a bit too high.
I think you'll find it's fine tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm not anticipating trouble, and I've done my very best, and I've got some wonderful people coming from far and wide, and I'll be meeting a lot of new strangers and one thing and another, and of course. It's going to be a bit of a fun walk, and how I'm going to cope with it on the day is I'm going to be so happy. I just hope, as an example, that the weather's going to be good.
Yes, I think the forecast this morning did say that the weekend should be fairly okay.
Yes,
just with the odd shower, and they seem to be coming overnight. So with good luck, you should be okay tomorrow. And
right.
You're not doing a long walk, are you?
No.
Should be okay.
Well, it's a fun walk, really. And this business, with the council, where, are there going to be more than 50 walkers? I've got no idea. I've got no idea whatsoever. I know it was in the newspaper last night, and I was a bit disappointed because they got quite a lot of the figures wrong, actually. It more or less gives the impression that this is the end of the whole walk. Well, they didn't mention that I'm going to Scotland. And so it was all done rather hastily because the original reporter who went on holiday forgot to put this story forward. So it was all done over a series of phone calls, and also the information from the last time it was in. So I'm not saying I'm ungrateful. I just think it was all sort of put together very quickly, and a lot of it came out completely wrong. But there's nothing I can do about that.
Nothing you can do about it.
No. So shall we go for a walk?
Let's have a walk.
And it's lovely to hear that really nice, strong Wakefield accent and be walking with a Yorkshire lass.
Yes, it's definitely a Yorkshire accent, isn't it? It comes from living near Barnsley, I think.
Barnsley, well, you can't get much more sort of, can you?
No.
That really is.
Despite the fact that I've been in Market Wheaton for 5 years, the accent's still there.
Yeah, isn't it funny? I mean, people say with me, with my whole accent, I don't really think I've got that much of a whole accent. But when I'm with friends and having a laugh, it all comes out, you know what I mean, and stuff. Yeah. And I'm not putting on a posh voice, because this is the way I talk now, but not like old people can be, but the whole accent is very easily identifiable, Let's go for a walk, eh?
Here
lovely,
we go.
lovely. Yeah, yeah. You say it. Yeah, Ralph's not here now. If Ralph was here, but now that Rosemary is here, she is going to say,
Here we go.
right then. Here we go.
Here we go.
Back to Cleethorpes and have some fish and chips. It's not a very nice morning yet, but I think it's going to get better. I've only set off on this walk about literally 10 minutes ago, and I've met this guy Spill. Now I just asked him because I saw all this activity around here, all these paddles and things like that, and we've got canoes and stuff like that all the way around there. So what's going on today then, Spill?
Well, today we've got our scouts and their kayaking. So we've got different stages of abilities. Paddle sport 1 as we call it.
Yes.
The guidelines are there. So we've got the young ones, the beginners, on the water.
Yes.
Just getting used to how to handle a kayak, how to use a paddle,
yes,
and get from A to B. Nothing too complex to start with, but that progresses during the day, and then tomorrow for the more advanced scouts that can do it.
So what age group would that be then?
So scouts begin at 10,
yes,
up to 14, but we have got some explorers coming today, which is the next level, so up to 17. So at the moment on the water we've got 2 scouts and an explorer.
Right.
2 explorers actually, so 4 of them with our instructor, Michael.
That's excellent. So have you come far to do this?
We're based 5th Grimsby, which is in Scartho in Grimsby.
Oh, right.
That's our scout troop.
Yes.
So we just come down the road effectively to do this here. We do this every year.
How wonderful. So you've obviously put a lot of time and effort into something like this, and is it an annual event?
It is, yeah, every year in July when the weather permits. Well, even if it didn't really, we'd be here, get them on the water.
Yep.
And if it's too hot, they always go in the water to keep cool as well.
Yeah.
But they do very well. They do very well.
Well, you said there's 1 or 2 of them coming down.
Yeah, they'll be coming up there. They've just paddled all the way down to the sort of lamppost, and they'll be heading this way.
Yes.
So you'll be able to catch them on camera.
Well, you do a fantastic job, mate, to be giving all your time to something like this. It's something you obviously enjoy.
Oh, we do.
You've done for a long time.
Yeah, there's 4 leaders we have at 5th Grimsby, and we share the time at weekends. We do all sorts of things with them,
yes,
whether it's camps, all sorts of things. But this is the annual thing we do for the kayaking.
Brilliant, mate. Well done. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good luck on your walk. And you're nearly finished as well.
Well, I've nearly finished the England and Wales section. I've walked around England and Wales, the whole of the coastal path of England and Wales now, which is 3,700 miles.
Fantastic.
Next week I set off up to Berwick-on-Tweed, which I've already been to once in my van. I've got my camper van, and then I'm walking up to John O'Groats by Christmas.
Excellent stuff.
So then I'll come back and have a winter break, and then tackle the west coast.
The west coast, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Can we interest you in getting on the water as well?
But my last experience of getting on one of these was when I was in Wales, and I had to cross this estuary, and a man with a 2-man
right.
said,
there we are, we've got one there.
He said, I'll give you a lift. So I got in and we capsized.
All right, okay.
There was a really strong wind from one direction, and the tide was going the other. And it was only because I was saving myself 7 miles because the causeway was slightly underwater,
right, okay,
and I didn't fancy it. So I lost my phone, I lost a camera, I lost everything that was in my rucksack. I was only in the water for a matter of seconds.
But it's enough.
But it cost me about 1,000 quid.
Oh dear. There we are. There we go.
Look, good. So this is Sophia, who I just noticed was taking some photographs. What are we actually taking photographs of, Sophia?
These are small tortoiseshell butterfly caterpillars. They love to feed on nettles. There's obviously a small group of them here.
Yes.
And I've been walking up and down catching butterflies as well.
Yes.
Because I'm a zoology student, and I'm doing a project over the summer looking at various insects really and other organisms around the UK. So I'm doing a sort of a butterfly profile of this area, just while my dad's working with scouts.
Yeah, right.
Photographing butterflies, catching butterflies. I have a bunch in tubs over there. there.
Wow, that's amazing. And so, what would the butterfly look like when it comes out? Is it?
I mean, I wish I was over there. I could show you it. It's one of the sort of brown-looking ones. You sort of think of a painted lady. It looks like a bit like that.
Oh,
or,
really?
It's sort of an orangey coloured one with black edges to the wings.
Wow. And so I mean, I know you say you're a zoology student, but you're a bit of an expert on this kind of thing now, then.
I suppose so. I really like insects, so insects is something I know a lot about anyway.
I don't know many women who like insects.
Okay, you know one now.
Well, yes, I mean, usually women are, there's a spider getting screaming,
that's very true, actually.
Complete hysteria.
Yeah, I know what you mean. No, I love them, and spiders as well. I think spiders are usually what people are averse to, but I love spiders.
Very nice to meet you, Sophie.
It's very nice to meet you too.
That. Thank you.
No, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
It's lovely to meet you too.
Bye now. Bye.
Bye.
A pillbox. Can you imagine during the war, sitting in there with your gun pointing out, waiting for the Germans to come? Look at it. It's about, 3 foot by about 5 foot, and I don't know how many people would be in there. But these are dotted all over the place on this coast. Have you ever seen this kind of thing before, Rosemary?
I've seen quite a lot of them on the East Yorkshire coast. And you see them on the cliff edges now. There are a few left, but most of them are just slipping into the sea.
Yeah, I noticed that. And I know you're back there this year now. I mean, it wasn't such a bad winter as it was the year before, was it?
No, we had a really mild winter compared to the year before.
Yes.
We didn't get, I think we only had one snowfall, and it was gone the following day.
Because some people were telling me that there was about 4 metres of land gone in certain places.
It's certainly going a lot around the Skipsea area.
Yes.
And, they keep moving the caravans further back and further back.
Yes.
Off the coast edges.
Yeah.
But the coastal erosion is there. It must be quite a significant rate. Always has been.
Yeah. I mean, Aldborough, I was talking to a woman in Aldborough saying that they could only get insurance for the next 60 years apparently.
So that's quite surprising.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, as children we used to holiday in a little property on the Skipsea coast. It was a bungalow. Yes. But and it was on the cliff edge then. Yeah. And that's long gone. That it's been gone for years. And the road behind it's gone. So it must be difficult for people who live in those areas.
Absolutely. I mean, when you think about there was at Spurred Point originally a port called Ravensor-Odd, and that now is like 3 miles out to sea. That's from 1,000 years it's moved. There's like 3 miles of coastline gone in 1,000 years. Yeah. It's incredible, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, that's how Hull was born, because he brought it inland, and that's why it's called Kingstown upon Hull, Kingston upon Hull, because it was Edward I who brought it. Right. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So what this pipeline is here for Rosemary, I don't know if you can quite see. If I look right out to sea, I'll just zoom forward, you'll see an oil tanker, one of the really big super tankers that you can maybe just pick it out from here in that far distance. It's about 3 miles away. Well, what happens is that's about as far into the River Humber as it can get, so it's very deep water, so the anchorage is probably about 3 miles from here, but that water is deep enough for that tanker, and what that does is discharge its oil through this pipe and down to you can see those green tanks in the distance. Well, that's Tetney tank farm, they call it, and what that does is store the oil, but from there is a pipeline that runs all the way down the river inland to Immingham, which is where the oil refineries are. Now, just to explain to you, I took some photographs of that when I was coming from that direction. I walked in from the east, but when I came down on the west to get permission to park on the pub car park where we are this morning, I took 2 photographs with the intention of using them today, which is what I'm going to do now. But when I was editing, they actually got on to the last piece of film, and so there's a piece of film, there's a one shot where I'm taking a photograph of the Tetney oil farm, and I took it from the van. So people will be wondering, why is the van there? Well, that's the answer. Well, I reckon we're about halfway now to the Cleethorpes Pier, where we got some fish and chips, and I've bumped into Simon and Lisa. So, are you local people, Simon?
From Goxhill.
Goxhill? Oh, well, that's the other side of Grimsby, isn't it?
Yes.
Going out towards like New Holland that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you've always been from this area, I guess, this Lincolnshire
Pretty
area?
much, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And today, what's your plan today then? Is it a long walk?
No, just 4 or 5 miles.
Yeah. Well, that's all you need. I mean,
Stretch the legs.
Yes, I mean, it's not such a bad day today, actually. I thought, I know we've got this wind come up, but the weather forecast seems to have got it a bit wrong in the last week, don't they, where they've been predicting heavy rain, and that's what I've been waiting for, but it's never happened,
No.
and the fields need it, don't they?
Yeah.
And what about you, Lisa? Have you always been like avid walkers then? Is this something that you do quite regularly?
I used to with school years ago, but
Yes.
now we just do it for fun, really. Simon does it for fitness.
Yeah.
He's just on 3 peaks.
Oh, right.
It's for 3 peaks, so
Yes.
it's an achievement.
Yeah, well, it is, isn't it? I mean, that's a lovely walk, isn't it? I've done the 3 peaks many, many years ago. I used to do the Lyke-Wake walk. Have you done that? Which is not so far away. It's from like Northallerton to more or less to Robin Hood's Bay.
Oh, okay.
Across the moors. That's a lovely walk, you know. But so it's lovely to see walkers. Since I've been into Lincolnshire, I don't really think I've seen many. The last ones I saw was like on the north of the Norfolk coast, like between Hunstanton and what's the name of the other place on the other end of, I can't remember now. Sorry, my name is Cromer. Yes, that was an interesting coast, but that was like this in a similar way, where the coast path was one way, but the sea was like like a mile or 2 out.
Yeah.
It was more or less all the same scenery, where the land erosion and the humber, where it's like silting up after all these years. It's exactly the same over there.
Yeah.
But it's been lovely meeting you. And have a nice walk.
You too.
Thank you very much indeed. Nice to see you. Thank you.
Yeah. Well done on your achievement.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye bye now.
Bye.
So what do you think, Rosemary?
Delicious, Jim.
I mean, I know
Absolutely delicious.
we're here with all these seasiders. I mean, this is the way to eat fish and chips, isn't it?
Definitely.
Is it all right? Is it quality all right?
Delicious.
Good, good. Now, would you like half of this with me? This is called a whole patty. You've never had a whole patty? Have you never
What's
had?
in a whole patty?
Well, it's the fish. It's like a fish cake, but it's got like a kind of sage. You're welcome to try. And I've got some mushy peas if you want some mushy peas. we've had a very nice walk, Rosemary. 7 miles it was.
Yes, it was very enjoyable, Jim. Thank you.
I mean, it could have been a better day, couldn't it, really? But, you know, it's not been bad, it's not been cold.
It's been good. It's been a good walking day. There's no rain, at least.
Oh, and the fish and chips were very nice, weren't
Delicious, yes.
Well, yeah, they were really good. I mean,
Gordon will be really jealous. I'm going to have to buy him some on the way home.
Really? And you've now also taken to liking Hull patties.
The whole patty was, yes, very nice.
Which is like a sage, fish and mash mix kind of thing.
Yes, yeah.
You know, very, 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 very nice.
I'm surprised they've not spread further than Hull.
I know, well, well, you see, I mean, when I say Hull hasn't got a good reputation, unless you've been to Hull and had patties, you just haven't lived.
No.
That's the truth of the matter, you know. That's why Hull people are so intelligent, because of the. That's why I'm so. Since leaving Grimsby on the 12th of April 2018, having walked 3,432 miles, that's 7.2 million Fitbit steps, recording the last 4 miles through the streets of Grimsby was totally insignificant. I didn't hang about before leaving for Manchester and have a few days rest with my daughter and family before leaving for Berwick-on-Tweed to start my walk up the east coast of Scotland on Friday the 19th of July, heading for John O'Groats.